All right, so welcome to another video. Today I want to share with you some tidbits on Tesla and just see kind of the price action recently. Let's get started. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade anything, just my opinion. If you want to grab my opinion, you can do so on our website at tradersfly.com. You can grab the freebies. There's some classes that we've got going on and some great live events as well. And you can also check out the Discord channel as well. That's a link in the description below where I post sometimes some trades and things that could work, may work, or things I might be looking at. Anyway, let's kick things off. I want to share with you some thoughts on Tesla. This one's been kind of acting a little choppy, just like a lot of the other things in the marketplace. But what I want you to kind of watch here is just this descending kind of line. Like anytime we're getting into this upper level, we're starting to reject it. So this is the 21 exponential moving average, and we're kind of rejecting it and rejecting it, rejecting it. So anytime we're getting into that level recently over the last month, month and a half, we are rejecting those levels. The other key point here to watch out for is this $800 support level. That was a critical factor in the past. So you can see here, we kind of tried to hold that level, but now again, we are under it. Now, these are big stocks and big companies. They can get back over those levels very quickly within a day. So it is important that you understand, hey, sometimes they wiggle below that and then it'll just snap back up very quickly. But even though that we can do that, we are under those levels, and because we are under those levels, that is significant, and that also usually means a little more trouble. So with a downward slope, a weak market, under the $800 level, this stock is struggling quite a bit. We've got 1200 here as well. That's a little bit of resistance. So overall, the stocks did quite well. I think you could come back and retest some lower levels though. Anytime we're getting a pop, we're getting a sell-off. So it is quite possible that this thing could come back down to the $700 price level. There's nothing wrong with that. That's when charts set up some nice movements. They can come back to 700 and then bounce very nicely, very quickly at that $700 price point. That's where we had some nice support level, and we even had kind of an emotional panic sell-off to that level, and that's when buyers stepped in. So in either case, that's why I would watch the $700 price level, because that's where you could get a really nice deal or value. It's kind of like buying a nice pair of shoes. That's where you could, if you could get a nice pair of shoes for half off, that's kind of what you're looking at, right? 700 all the way up at the $1,200 price level. That's not quite, in half, but it's very close to it. So anyways, watch that key $700 level. I would keep my eyes peeled for that. The other kind of price level that we did quite a lot of price action at, if we get below that $700 level, is about 635. I don't know if it'll get there anytime soon, because we'll probably get some serious bounces before then, just similar to what we did over here. You could see we dropped down very quickly, and then we had nice big bars coming back up. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And the trend overall on the downward side, we're kind of looking at this range. This is kind of what we're looking at, is this angle. So even if we drop down pretty quickly, I think we'll get back into that range, into that flow, or into that zone. It's kind of like a channel or a river. You stay in that river and stay in that zone. So anyways, when you look at the overall progression of Tesla, just overall how it's been doing over the last few years, I mean, it's been doing phenomenal. And you can see we had this huge breakout, and this little pullback is really a blip on screen. So if we just pull back just even around that level to come back retested, that should be good. The problem is once you get some selling pressure, and if you get some really negativity, it could be just in the market related. It doesn't mean it's Tesla. You could come back and retest those one-to-one levels all the way down to here. Now that would be really nasty at $75, $78 a share for Tesla. Yeah, probably unlikely. But that's when you get like some panic moves similar to what you had over here. So again, I'm saying probably not likely, but that's kind of what people do, is they panic sell and they get out of them. So anyway, so I think a worst case scenario for the short run or for this year, you're probably maybe 550 is kind of retesting some of these lows. A lot of stocks are coming back to some of their last year's or 2 years ago lows to retest them. So this one hasn't done that yet. It's been strong enough to kind of hold off on it. But that's why I say, hey, it probably more than likely it could retest that 700 more likely first before it tests the 1200. And if you get some really panic stuff in, yeah, that's when you can get the 550 and stuff. But for now, we're playing in this range. 700 is kind of the game. 800, it could get back above that very quickly. But overall, some of the trend lines here are also kind of pointing to the downside. Once these start kind of holding and basing quite a bit, and you start seeing some chop to the upside, you start seeing some choppiness, and then you get to the upside a little bit, kind of this rounding thing going on. That's when you usually can say, hey, it's probably starting to look a little bit better, because that's when things usually are starting to stabilize. So that's what I would watch out for, is just stuff that's kind of moving in that kind of direction and in that kind of energy and that kind of flow. So that's what I would look for in this stock. Until then, we're going to get some wiggles and moves. And even here with the SPY right now, we're still, breaking below this 420 price level. And we just continue selling off. I mean, it's just kind of really nasty out there. It doesn't look good. Although it is kind of, I would say, logical selling. It's not like, massive panic. But now that we're getting under this 420, all the way down here, that is not a good sign, which means you could see further lower prices. Obviously, you could go back up and then go down. That's what I would like to see, but we're just continuing to grind down and grind down and grind down and grind down. So again, you could have this flush very quick and rise back up quickly, but I think that'll be just a lot more market weakness for this next month or two. So we'll see how things pan out, but that's what I would watch out for in this stock. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.